When I think of G2, I think of big
wow, 57% in favor of G2. That is surprising. Rogue did have a weak start to the stage 3 of EUL, but still.
So this could prove to be a very gonna be a classic. These two teams just, I feel like
Loser team does 100 push-ups each.
G2. Rogue obviously coming off the back of the Berlin Major, done fantastic.
I mean, Rogue is probably the most fit. It's funny because Rogue is probably the most fit team on average, but they also have Kento and Leon. But it's like Dogi doesn't work out, Blur doesn't work out, Citizen doesn't work out, but Elma and Virtue do. But you have fucking Bodybuilder Cryan and Model Deepak. And Spoil's also working out. So it's like they're like offsetting each other. I don't know. They could pull it off for sure.
Coming out from G2 against Cryan. We've seen him play
100 push-ups should be easy. Falcon, you and I both look like a stick. We don't get to talk about what 100 push-ups look like. Okay, we don't.
Also coming out from G2.
You can do 30 on the spot. I'm not gonna lie, I did 30 last night. I did 30 last night in a row. Then I did 20, then I did 15, then I did 10, then I stopped. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Valkyrie
so Falcon, if you want to record it and send it my way, I will. I'll judge your form. How about that?
You know, we have seen people. We don't get too many mute bans, to be fair.
No way I call Kento fat. I didn't. I said Kento doesn't go to the gym. That's all. He doesn't go to the gym. Kento's like afraid of gyms. He's afraid of going outside. He just likes being home. He's like me when I was younger.
Over time, that's kind of
I'm surprised
I never called anybody fat for reference. I just said who went to the gym and who doesn't. Kenzo's a friend of mine too, so is Leon. Everyone in this lobby is a friend of mine, except for Blur. Fuck Blur. He's also playing Grim. Fuck Grim.
And I thought, you know what? That is great life advice. So I've taken a day off.
Well, let's hope that neither of these.
There's no he sticks to Grim, right?
Don't talk about it yet, by the way, Tim. Don't talk about it.
15 seconds? What did Blur do? I've never met the guy. He hasn't done anything wrong. I just don't know him. I've never ever in my life spoken with Blur, I don't think. So I simply just don't know him. No issues with him. I don't mind him. But he was playing Grim, which is like, that's a bad operator, you know? Now he's in Nibbana, much better. Yeah, me and friends with the coaches. Me P from Rogue side, Tristan is an analyst, and then we got a Spawn P counter from Citizens of Deepak. And Fabian, of course, coach of G2. Very aggressive round, okay. Nook, Mute, Ying, and Valkyrie ban. I actually like the Ying ban a lot. Nook is a given. Mute's interesting. So with Mute being banned, we could see a lot of Mossy. Cryan's already playing it round 1. Is it fair that Sport's playing this game, by the way? He was literally banned for cheating like 2 hours ago. And now he's playing a pro game against you. I would be protesting as you do. Fabian should protest.
To have a lot of success in getting the rounds won. So
for sure.
Rogue, they know that. They're getting right up to those doors, windows, getting aggressive. No surprise whatsoever. They've managed to burn a minute so far. Virtue has got himself inside of the map now. Maybe
you know protesting? What does that mean?
So there is some opportunity there. Spot gonna take down Citizen.
Yeah, Spot's cheating. Already 2 kills first round. If Spot drops a nasty amount of kills, this entire game is so meme potential full. Since you're on Twitter, Falcon. Oh god, Doki. Ooh, you hate to see it. The wallbang headshot. 2v2 now is still ever so close. G2 are very low on HP, and they gotta fight against the Evil Eye possibly still, and they can't really plant in 2v2 here either. So they can't breach the wall, so planting's not really an option.
This has just been a brawl over getting into the map at this point.
How does that happen?
That's going to be the wrong type of canister.
Also, now you can't get the Maestro camera. What the fuck, man? Why would you Sophia's open the wall, or the door rather, when you have a Maestro camera right behind it?
Angle here, a couple of pixels wide there, through.
Yeah, this is a nice hold from Rogue. The smoke grenades could be the only way in, and they actually get in. Oh, that's such a good impact grenade too. Fuck. Huge, Leon.
I didn't expect that, but
very nice.
Are
you guys dump Cryan back in your time? So we trialed Cryan, and he played really well. But Cryan was going through like a really toxic relationship breakup back then. So Cryan's mental was in the fucking gutter. Like, his girlfriend was like sabotaging his career. She would like download Netflix movies and like make him lag doing like scrims and Pro League games and stuff. So Cryan was going through a really bad breakup, and he obviously he wasn't really in the game mentally, and we had to kick him. And then like he broke up with her, and like he got better and stuff after. Why am I? Shut the fuck up, right? Shut up. I swear to God, I'm not leaking. I am sharing a story. Like, Cryan's spoken about himself before as well. He was just going through like a really tough time in life. It was bad timing. So like Cryan was a good guy. He was a good teammate. He was a very good teammate actually to have. He was very kind, very funny. But yeah, Cryan and Fabian didn't have the best relationship. And obviously Cryan joined at a time where our team was in a really bad spot ourselves. And we weren't very good teammates to help incorporate him into the team either. You know?
Taking out drones where they can, try and force
Never mind.
mistakes.
Good night.
Access has been
It's a wallbang? Was a
Wallbang,
wallbang, I think.
So once again, the same as round one, we have
You didn't see my tweet about going to a site it shows? I did see your tweet, and I considered commenting, how do you know it's going to be in Montreal, dumbass, because they said they're going to change it. But I didn't want to bother with your memes on Twitter, I was tired. I was like, I'll let you have this one.
We see Cryan and Deepak both dropping themselves away from the top floor now, so this could be a little bit dangerous for Rogue from here. Once G2 get control over Office particularly, the pressure will mount on site, because of course those vertical angles are going to get opened up. They've got a couple of soft breach options. They've got the explosive canisters both on the side of Alamo and Virtue, so there is work can be done as well.
If it's not Montreal, I'm going to shit myself. Well, they said they're probably going to change the location.
I'm a little bit nervous about the clock here ticking down. Sure, it's a 4 versus 4, but they're still getting themselves set up on the vertical. Blur almost finding Leon, who I don't think was fully aware exactly where he's being shot.
Doki is a very inconsistent player, yeah.
But still alive at
He
least
is.
for now. It's Alamau to bring
If
down
Doki was
Storm
more
2.
consistent,
G2
he would probably be like recognized as a
recognized
very good player, kind of like Citizen would be too.
Really do we get in this round.
I would like Citizen is rather. But Doki, when he's like successful on injury, he's actually a very strong player. I just think outside of his injury capabilities, he falls short. I generally think we need like a siege major next year in England, in the UK. I genuinely believe that. That's a bad plant spot, by the way. What the fuck? Nice. Nice shot, nice shot. Make it in Germany. We just had the Berlin Major, Rain. We literally just had the Berlin Major. Like a month and a half ago. It was just in Germany. We can't have another one just because some people choose not to go. Was I there? Give me another shot, man. That's a you problem. We have not had a tournament in England since year 1, season 2 in Leeds. I think it was Leeds. Or Leicester. Leicester? It was Leicester.
This is going to be a
yeah.
from start to finish. Vents and Workshop where we head for round 3.
So we need another UK event. And it has to be like a London major or something like that. Something like that. Sophia, obviously. Okay.
They weren't able to get the first. Leon is going to be half health here.
Cosplay as Rain from Damwon Gaming. It's Damwon Kia, by the way. The Kia is important. It's DWK these days. Another injury for Doki. He's 3 for 3, no? He's 3 for 3. He's on side. Doki? Wait. Wait, the heads are reinforced. They can plant archives. They can plant on this side.
The danger, right? Sure, they've got side control, but there are 3 holding out above here, and that's going to be a big.
Where's the diffuser though? It's on Blur. Where's Blur?
The boys looking largely untroubled upstairs as once again we've had
Blur, you gotta shift W, my guy. You have diffuser. Come on. Where are you? Just go in, main door, run to customs, go blue, walk in blue door, plant diffuser. What?
Just, from a lateral angle, that they're going to be above you. That's where they're going to want to keep.
Citizen can be distracting factor above, but Blur has to get to fucking blue.
Rogue have got an angle onto that. They've got an angle onto absolutely every entrance.
Because they can plant on Doki. He has 2 smoke grenades. It's literally a free plant.
They can't ignore it like this.
Well, it's like you said, it's sort of frustrating because Doki's managed to get himself inside to a spot where they can't cover him on the vertical. And he's like, look, if you can get...
Why is he yellow pinging the floor? He's like, Blur, get to this ping. He's like, aye, Captain. Watch him shift W and die. Just wait. Doki has 2 smokes, so they figure it out.
They're screwed.
What are these
around at the minute, and you feel like there's a potential for him to
it's a bad nade. There we go. Jesus Christ, finally. Finally. They still have a smoke grenade. They can use the smoke grenade. Oh my god, I'm tilting. Just throw a smoke onto Blur so they can't see him. And you can plant for free. You still have a smoke grenade. They're playing the trading game. It is very well done for Rogue. One guy sacrifices, second guy stays above. God damn it, man. God damn it. The smoke makes all the difference there. Only Warden can see through it, and they don't know where they're planting. You throw one smoke grenade for a fake, and you throw a second one that's real. Then you plant boosted on the desk or the wooden pile, and you're fucking vibing. Doki can even hold the angle for Blur on the vertical holes when it happens, and to cover him for a 50-50 gunfight. I mean, Doki was on site in the first minute, and then nothing happened. Like, ideally, Citizen walks up middle, and he, like, makes some noise upstairs, and he can alleviate some pressure, vertically speaking, at least. Yeah, I want the comms in that round, because Doki he was, like, pinging the floor. I want the voice comms. I want to hear what happened.
They probably read that there were 3 or 4 players playing upstairs. There's utility and use up there. We spoke about this in our last map back in game 2. Sometimes you just see the opportunity and you go, right,
like,
boys,
even if there's a warden, right? Like this is how I see it. Even if there's a warden on the board, what do you lose by using the smoke grenade? Right? Because let's say you don't throw a smoke grenade, everyone can see you. Let's say you do throw a smoke grenade, only warden can see you. So logically speaking, in that particular instance, 3 guys vertically, nobody horizontally, why would you not use the smoke grenade? There's no loss. There's 0 loss in that scenario. Let's say it's like not Warden that gets the kill onto you. You're just a dumbass. If it is Warden, then like at least you spent all your resources possible to deny it, right? And they could only plant in like 3 different positions because of verticality, so like they would know anyway.
Slight separation after that, but
it wasn't Blur who didn't use the smoke grenade, by the way. It was Doki. Doki was on Twitch. Blur was on Flashbangs Flores. So it was Doki who didn't use the smoke grenade. It's basically an issue between Blur and Doki. Like they didn't communicate how to get to side. Because Blur could have ran to Teller's window, jumped in Teller's, and gone to the bathroom rotate on the side. So it was like Doki and Blur did not communicate together about what they wanted to do and how to do it, basically.
4 of the 5 games today that could go either way. So far, been on the money. But even
on the money.
Last game of Wolves versus
Doki is a wild card, and I think every team will benefit, or like most teams will benefit from having a wild card. I believe so. Because a wild card is like, it can be very beneficial. Like you just fucking fly off the hinges, you know, do some crazy shit.
Could be on 100%.
As long as the other 4 members are like a stable core, you can't have like an unhinged wildcard and then have like a very chaotic playstyle as a teammate either, because then it's like there's just no control.
He's going to be holding that angle from the hatch top down for the time being.
Let's see, does it go 4 for 4? If he time Spoit on this triple wall, he could just get a freebie.
But like you say, that timing just eluding him at the minute.
Oh, Shaz DM'd me.
He was crawling up there. Look at this.
Absolutely could.
Kind of like an alternative to what we're used to seeing. I don't think.
Mark 2.
Yeah, honestly, I think there's just no idea here of what's going on. Doki doesn't know about that drone behind him. This is a freebie waiting to happen.
I'll probably be co-streaming with Shaz going forward. He just DM'd me right now. I didn't even think about it really. Because I think Shaz is co-streaming this today as well.
I can't believe the Crying's getting away with that at the minute. But it's
WW. I wasn't sure if Shaz was actually going to co-stream consistently. 4 for 4 for Doki. So this brings me back 2 in the round. This brings me back to like the previous game with Navi, where Skitty walked down clubhouse stairs with Nook and Bug didn't bug the floor. Doki waited for Blur to use the Hibana pellets to then swing Sport running away. Like that small change where you swing with the Hibana pellets versus Raw makes the entire difference.
He's getting busy on the cap can. Let's see what else he can achieve as it comes down to him and Cryin to hold.
I don't know what the fuck that was, I'll be honest. There's like, now the wild card paid off, you got your kills, and now...
allowing him to do so. Blur, he goes into a frost trap, leaving us now effectively 2v2. Des.
Oh
if
no,
G2
I'm gonna lose all my remaining
round,
hair on my head.
They've thrown it away.
Doki swings the long hallway, and then Blur jumps into... And Blur jumps into a frost trap with the breach open in front of him. Damn, that's a nice flick for Citizen. He's won it. Oh, that's gonna suck, man. That's gonna suck. Oh, man. This is a good example of like, you win the round, but then somehow you also lose the round at the same time. That was basically a 2v5/2v4, effectively. And it's like, it is hard to peel back when you're in the lead and when you're like feeling good about like your gunfight skill. We used to have a call out in G2 called hamburger. And basically a hamburger means like, don't swing, don't peek, don't take a risk, just hold an angle and wait, because that's so much time, right? Rogue, the opponents of G2 right now, they have the same call out, but it's Michael. So if you listen to the Rogue voice com videos, you'll hear Leon's kids call like Michael, Michael, Michael in like a 5v2, like when they have a lead, right? And it basically is something that Doki could have used that round, where it's like, don't peek the hallway, don't fucking take a gunfight, just sit back, hold an angle, and wait. Because either A, they will act into you, and B, you have so much time to work with, you cannot really risk losing the advantage. Like, Blur getting frost trapped is again one of just those like super small things with a massive impact, unfortunately. 73 Soto! Thank you. I still need to find an emote artist. I'll have to make a tweet about it, because I don't have one. I'm sorry. Who's supposed to be G2's IGL? So, supposedly, it's Citizen. Supposedly, Citizen was changed in stage... For the Major, I think, no? Was it for the Major? It was either for the Major or for stage 3 that he became the IGL of the team. I thought what G2 was going to do was that they were going to pick up like a hard support player instead of Blur, who's an IGL, to enable the gunpower of like Doki, Citizen, LMA, and Virtue. Because when you're IGLing as Citizen, I can imagine that he can't do the lurking role as he used to do, where he was like the strongest. I think it was mid-stage 2, yeah. I think so. I think it was mid-stage 2 because Prana was gonna leave after Major, yeah. I think you're right about that. So it's middle of stage 2 that he changed in preparation for the future. I think it's the same now, but I'm not sure. I also thought about G2 could have picked up Shepard, but Shepard's English is very... Oh god, it's very poor, I believe. Because they need like a vocal support, I think. Unless they want to keep like Citizen IGL and just have like a solid support player, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I thought about Shepard to G2 could make a lot of sense, possibly. Because Citizen does seem a bit more hinged, like a little bit more leashed, if you will. Like, he can't really take as many fights. He can't really play as aggressive as he used to do on attack, at least.
Looking for the long angle onto East stairs.
He can't really push forward past this point here.
Rogue have been able to reel G2 back in.
We don't have a hard breach, so we can't breach the fountain walls. Oh, we're just losing gunfights now, Jesus.
And Rogue are starting to run away with this one, almost certainly going to be 4-1 here.
Yeah, I remember I was co-streaming the G2 Oregon game back with Prano, and I was pointing out how Prano had like 2 Osa shields and 2 smoke grenades and stuff like that, and he was like, it doesn't matter. And I was just like, that's when I figured out that we're from very different positions in how we think about the game. Shepard doesn't really speak English, no. Not that I know of. Like, he can muster out words. I don't think he can put together like fast, coherent sentences on the fly in the game. If I sit down on the couch and I look at you and I talk to you, hey, what is your name? How are you doing? What do you like to do in your spare time? That's very different than explaining there's a vertical above you and you have no smoke grenades, 35 seconds left, Alibi is above, Warden's on side. That's much more difficult, right? To be concise, accurate, understandable, clear, and while playing the game at a high level as well. Because like Uno spoke about this many times. When Uno used to IGL on G2 with me, Uno would not be able to shoot back when he was talking English. Because Uno's English is like, it's good, but it's not like fluid. And he speaks with like, you know, Finnish accent and stuff. So if Uno's explaining something and holding an angle and somebody peeks him, he will die. Because his brain can literally not shoot back fast enough while talking. Because he's speaking a foreign language, right? So that's something that if you're an IGL, either you play a hard support role where you will not be in that position, or you have to be fluent enough and confident enough talking while also fighting. Because that is a problem that a lot of players face, I feel like. Your reaction time just slows down by like 100 milliseconds because you're thinking so much. And 100 milliseconds in pro play is like night and day difference, right?
I kind of feel in this game you're seeing that.
Thank you, Bomber.
We've had some good rounds from players like
yeah, Uno's English is like good, but it's difficult for him to speak it. Like he's fluent basically. He does talk a bit slow, which I struggle when people talk really slowly because I get like bored. Like I lose my interest very easily. If somebody's like, yeah, so today I went for a walk, and after the walk I went to the grocery store. But in the grocery store, I'm just lost. And if you sound like you're bored yourself, like you have like a monotone voice, which Uno happens to have, it's just, I will lose, like my brain will just fucking tune out. I'm like, I cannot listen, like I'm bored of this conversation.
You do get a lot of extended holds on this map, right? Like areas.
Well, Uno is super cool to talk to in general. It's just in the game, he's like he could be very slow sometimes. I'm calling Uno slow? Yeah, he has a deep voice. He just talks slowly for like in general. He's also Finnish. They don't say much when you're from Finland. Uno's a very smart player though. Uno's a very smart player. Uno is definitely one of my favorite teammates that I've played with. Definitely. Oh. Like, if I could choose a person to be in a major winning team to like lift a trophy. Oh, Doki's gone. I would definitely put Uno on that list. Like, Uno deserves to win a major. And he should have won one with us back in Raleigh. Or whatever.
Deepak's got a dangerous angle from the top of East here. He may well find himself one, and this could be round defining for G2.
It could. At least this time they're trying to challenge on to the lateral.
It's a 50-50 round. Kanto's low on HP and roaming, so they know that where he is. So there's only Spot on side, who's also dead. They know where the Kanto is. He was catwalk balcony of CCTV last time seen. With the sound cue to drop at the hatch. I feel like Alamo should have known, but didn't. Kanto statistically cannot win this round. He's 1 HP. Boom. Good pace. And a pause. Do I still keep in touch with Fabian? We DM on occasion, yeah. Like, Fabian's girlfriend invited me to Sweden to have a barbecue with them. And then I thought about it. A friend told me about this as well, but I thought about it. And they invited me to a barbecue in northern Sweden in January. Which means it's going to be negative 20 degrees Celsius. And we're going to have a barbecue outside. I assume it's an outside barbecue, because barbecues are normally outside, no? Nice and cold, yeah. Nice and cold. No, I don't know. I speak more to Fabian's girlfriend nowadays than to him. I feel like Fabian and I both suck at small talking, so like we just don't naturally interact that much. But Fabian's girlfriend she's very talkative.
He could get himself a freebie if he holds on here, Des.
He could be, but it's all about waiting.
Another opening kill for G2. They are leading massively in the department, but on the rounds. Side swap has occurred, by the way.
Obviously has the spear over the LMG. Right call. Has the gun 6, but no frag.
Good trade by Cryan. 9 and 3 on this board.
Cryan strikes like a... What I'm looking for here, like a Viper, that's what I was going for, Tim, like a Viper. Gets the kill at the top of the stairs, but it's Leon.
What?
Come out and potentially find 2 more, finds himself 1 as Blur hits the deck inside
That's
the
so
room.
weird.
almost certainly going to
Like Leon just walks in and there's like no contesting whatsoever. They should figure out that Bur's injured because then yeah, there it is. Yeah, don't sap him, Dapek. No value in that.
Just missing the shot from the Twitch drone, and it was the last one. They're going to need the recharge on it, but Crying will go in.
It's so weird. It says Crying got a double kill, but the kill credit doesn't go to Crying because he didn't injure him. Leon did. It's like a weird system how that works. You should just say Leon killed him at that point, and then Leon got a 1 kill and Crying got a double. Unless Crying killed 2 people before that, I guess. So Citizen has to swing this and just play aggressive. Oh. See, Leon has a triple kill and Crying has a double kill. But there's only 4 people dead. And 2 plus 3 is 5. So it is confusing for sure. Look at Dapek. He's such a support player. He's using his Twitch drone in a 1 versus 4. Look how much, like, okay. Look at how Rogue's playing this. Dapek is on a Twitch drone, sapping Virtue. They use their smoke grenades to deny the line of sight. Then they walk in deep and they plant. While they plant, 2 members of Rogue will walk in towards Armory to force Virtue back against the wall in the back corner. And there's no way to lose the round. But the way G2 played like a 2v4 was like one guy swung a hallway, one guy jumped into a frost trap, like didn't use their smoke grenades. Well, technically they did that round, but they lost, right? It's like, it's such a different scenario.
And Rogue are starting to run away with things.
It's the little bits of composure from Rogue.
So while you need a wildcard player on every team, which I think Crying is probably the wildcard player for Rogue, if I had to argue the case, because he does a little bit more crazy shit than Spoit does. Spoit is actually very disciplined and consistent. You also need like a super like a rock solid player. And Shepard back in Empire, Dapek on current Rogue are rock solid. They will always do their job. They will always bring value. They're super consistent, right? It's not even Dapek's job to have a single kill in any game. He will usually still be on equal terms franking power-wise with his teammates. Like, he's not going to drop 20 kills very often, but he'll usually go like neutral or positive while still doing a really, really great job in the supportive department. And same for Shepard. Same with Brede, back in Brede prime days, you know? Brede had a really bad stage too, but it really sets them apart.
Rogue, by contrast, they're going to need to show us a better top floor clearance than G2 were realistically able to.
No, Sports on his main account, chat, I believe. His account got unbanned.
Kills once again. To be honest, you'd put money on them at the minute because they're going fantastically well, and it's across the board. You got 9 on Crying, you got 7 on Leon, you got 5 on Spoit. Everybody chipping in.
My favorite Siege player was clever. Oh god.
Let's see how things shape up there once again. We're going to see the
and that's a Smurf's alts. Okay, so technically speaking, there's a difference, right? A Smurf is an account in low elo when you're a high elo player. An alt account is just having a second account. You are allowed to have multiple accounts. You're not allowed to have a Smurf. A lot of people, myself included, we just say Smurf, which when we mean second account. When in technicality, it's an alt account. So yes, you're allowed as many accounts as you would like, but you're technically not allowed to Smurf because you're ruining the matchmaking for other people.
Hot on his heels. He's looking to
so there's a bit of technicalities there, but yeah. I mean, you're stuck in a corner now. You gotta fight it out. Good trade there. Good read. Spark getting surprisingly aggressive on there. It's not the bomb site, so there's no reason to.
Both him and Crying on low health, gonna juice them back up, but it doesn't give quite enough to get them back up.
What do you do now, Rogue? You got what you need. You got 90 control for the cutoff, and you got archives. You could just work away downstairs and plant in the workshop. But there's 2 members bottom, he's going for a flank.
Here comes the flank.
Oh, they know it. They got yellow pings. Also, playing Finka right now is so toxic because like Crying has almost died twice in this game. He's half HP. Fucking Finka, man.
Coming out of G2. Rogue once again in a 4 versus 2. Feels like they might be able to take this one as well, Tim.
It certainly does. I've got to say, Rogue just feel clinical today. You know, I said that they've not necessarily shown consistency as well as they have done previously so far in stage
Lucky
3.
in chat who said Kento's a good mentor for young players. I hope he coaches. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Kento would probably make the worst coach in coaching history. Cryan is doing a really good job of just playing off his teammates' positionings. Same with Sport that round. Like Cryan took the long fight, Sport pushed in. It's very well done.
They were rolling the dice. They were trying to get up his stairs. They were trying to mix.
Rogue looks disciplined. Rogue is very disciplined. When Rogue plays like peak performance Rogue, they are probably one of the best teams in the world. And there was the same in stage 2 of UL. It's like when every member is like, the only issue that Rogue has usually is that Kanto is very inconsistent. Like Kanto plays Sledge and he's usually the first guy to die, which means they lose half their grenade value and they lose verticality. But besides that, like when Kanto doesn't die early, and even sometimes when he does, like they're really, really strong. But Kanto is probably the one weakness that Rogue has. The second weakness they arguably has is Leon Gitz. They're doing a single IGL system, which is very like, this is like year 1, year 2 style of leadership in Siege, where one guy will say 90% of the words, and that's Leon Gitz. And the reason why it's a weakness is if Leon Gitz has a bad day, he gets sick, he's in a bad mood, he goes through a hard time in life, or he didn't sleep good last night, and he stops talking as much as he normally does, or as good as he normally does, there is no real good backup for Rogue, I don't believe. Whereas most people, they have a 2 or 3 man system where, you know, every day, every game, you'll have different maps, you'll have a different person talking more than the others. So there is like a slight concern that if Leon Gitz has like a bad day, it affects the entire team like crazy. But other than that, I think they're pretty fucking solid. Like there's very, very few weaknesses to Rogue. Leon Gitz IGLing is very impressive. It is. I listen to the Rogue voice comms. I've seen all the videos. It's very impressive. Also, Leon Gitz, he sees the game very similar to the way I see the game. So I'm often like agreement with what he says, which is always fun to watch. Doki disconnected again. Plus Blur died. Good trade back from Virtue. Cryan getting a little bit too aggressive there. Could have slowed down with the drone.
Kind of balance, but not quite the power as 4 versus 3 for Rogue ensues.
So look at the post below, we got no C4 to follow up. Doki is having some sort of issue because he's disconnected 2 rounds now out of the last like what, 3? This is where Rogue says Michael, you can see it, right? This is a Michael call. Everyone's standing still. We're waiting for both drones to come up. This is Rogue saying Michael, Michael, Michael after Cryan died. 100%. Discipline is good. They know they got 2 kills for the price of 1 because Doki disconnected. And once they clear out Virtue, the round is basically over. Somehow Daypick gets Elema instead with the Kali sniper. Yeah, this is just solid from Rogue. Last guy alive is post below, granting info with no C4.
Looks to be like for G2,
that's a GG.
Musical statues game has come to an end.
Wasn't even close.
So
this game is definitely a mixture of like Rogue looking good and then G2 looking less than average. Like this is not Rogue just fucking stomping G2. This is like a bit of highs, bit of lows, right? And 2 rounds Doki disconnected as well. But overall, like Rogue's fundamentals and their teamwork and discipline is very impressive for sure.
Definitely come out and won this game.
G2 looked a little bit lost. We saw that on their first attacking, first and second attacking round especially.
In match of the day 4, play day 4.
Trying at 12 and 4 as well, just unleashed. But